afternoon, good evening. I am your host, Data T, and this is my channel, The Good Guys. Today's story, guys, comes out of Harrison Township, that is in Ohio, maybe specifically Dayton, Ohio. And if we look at the title of the story, it says here, suspect shot, killed in attempted burglary at cell phone store is identified. Now, before we get into the story, guys, if you wouldn't mind giving me a like, give me a comment, subscribe, and if you guys want to hit me on Twitter or give me an email, I would appreciate it. Love to talk. So let us dive into this story.
A deputy said the man who tried stealing phones from a Boost Mobile store died. Hello, I'm James Brown.
I'm Cheryl McHenry. Investigators say a neighbor saw the attempted burglary and fired shots. News Center 7's Mike Campbell spoke with the sheriff, and Mike joins us live in Harrison Township. Mike, this is a very complicated investigation.
Yeah, that's exactly the word that the sheriff was using, Cheryl, because his investigators have a lot of things to untangle about exactly what happened here. Now, they were called here about 1 in the morning to this Boost Mobile store just off North Dixie Drive, and what they know is a man in his 30s who they believe broke into this store to steal phones is now dead. They believe he was shot by an employee that lives above the store in some apartments there. That employee did not mention any gunfire in the 9-minute-long 911 call I obtained.
The people see in the store, the Boost Mobile, the people see inside the store, the Northridge. Oh my God.
In the back we have like a small room. I believe he's still in there.
Sheriff's deputies believe that an employee and his family members who live in an apartment above this store made that emergency call. They reported a break-in and one man inside. No one made any mention of any gunfire, but deputies spotted evidence of that as soon as they pulled up.
Harrison 110, are they actively engaged with the suspect, or he just breaks into the business?
Storefront, so we don't have any keys to get into the doors. We have to go through the window, and he actually shot at the individual.
The deputies blocked off his parking lot, and then, within minutes, Dayton police received a 911 call about a shooting victim on this street off East 3rd. A man reported a family member was critically injured.
She pulled up. My girl's brother is in the back seat. She's talking about he shot.
That man, who deputies now believe is the man the Boost Mobile employee fired on, later died at the hospital.
It was a 30.
Let's stop it there. So we have a person who tried to rob a particular business, but this is not just a business, it is also a home. There are people living there. Now, whether or not he thought they were living there is irrelevant, because thou shalt not steal, okay? But notice that those people had a firearm. They sounded, this is not to insult them, but they sounded like a foreign group of people, a foreign family, but at least they knew they had to keep and bear arms. They knew they were in a country they could carry a gun. Now, I'm all for this, and it's sad that that robber ended up at somebody's house, and a brother of or a sister of whoever the person called for this particular individual had to call because he was shot, and later he ended up dying. That's tragic. I personally, guys, for people like this, I don't have any remorse for them. Regardless of their situation, they could be going through a hard time. Everyone is. That gives you no excuse to steal. So for me, kudos to this family. Kudos for defending your property, your store, your family, your life. Thank goodness for the Second Amendment. Let's move on.
36-year-old male who also had a 16-year-old female with him that was probably acting more like a lookout at that time.
Sheriff Rob Streck told me his detectives believe the person that called 911 rents an apartment upstairs and is an employee of the business. They think he confronted the man verbally and then apparently fired shots from outside the store. The would-be burglar and his 16-year-old family member took off, presumably driving to Horton Avenue in Dayton before others made their 911 call for help. The sheriff said they will gather all the information and evidence they can and bring it to the prosecutor's office for review.
But yeah, there's all kinds of issues that we're looking at with this case that have to be decided.
And back live now, some of those issues include possible self-defense, also unraveling some of the new changes to Ohio's Stand Your Ground laws as well that could play into this. One thing I can tell you for sure at this hour is that the 16-year-old that deputies think may have been acting as a lookout was booked into the Juvenile Justice Center. Reporting live in Harrison Township, Mike Campbell, News Center.
Why was she booked into the juvenile? Why? If she committed no crime, why is she there? That doesn't make any sense. The fact that he was there at that particular time made no sense. You heard the 911 call, and you heard that what they were doing was basically the guy was breaking in. That is what happened. Folks, this is why you have a gun, to protect yourself, not only to protect yourself, protect your family, your property. And that's what happened here. This is tragic. It is. Okay. But look at the audacity and the frame of mind to bring this juvenile with you on a crime. If you're going to do dirt, at least do it by yourself. But you bring a minor? What kind of person is this guy? But he reached his conclusion. He got to where he needed. And unfortunately, it was at the barrel of a gun. Guys, good people have firearms. Good people have guns. And if good men did nothing, there would be no good guys.